entire session as an example for autism. Of course, it will just be an example because it's a whole protocol, but you can see the step-by-step process that we're going to go through. So, let me share my screen. Okay, so, autism. What I want to go through is how these children feel insecure, and these people feel insecure. Now, there's so many aspects of the autism spectrum, but one of the biggest issues is the feeling of insecurity that is not really known why. But the thing is that through the inductor one and through our devices, we can see the reasons behind the reasons why they may feel insecure, what traumatic experiences they may have gone through, either in their life, during gestation, while they were in their mother's womb, or even from past life. And one of the reasons how we can see their insecurity is the fact that they don't look at you straight on. They hide their emotions. They want to look down. They want to be in their own little world as a sense of security. So, where can we go and see these traumatic issues? One of the basic places, first of all, okay, we see the matrix. We can see different things here going on. If we want to see if it's from past life, let's say, let's go and check if there's miasms coming up. We would search. So, there we go. There is one miasm here coming up. Here, the tetanus miasm. So, we look at the numbers that are over 90. Okay, so we do have an indication, some kind of indication, that we can work through here in the miasms, through the matrix. Maybe let's see, even in the chronic areas. For some reason, my cursor, here it is, okay. Miasms. Okay, so here we can see miasms. If we put a slash, we can filter just the miasms, and we can see the numbers all in one glance. And we see the numbers, a lot of chronic here. So definitely here with this demo that we have for an autistic child, we see a lot of miasms going on. So we can work through here, through the matrix, and we can, one by one, we can work on them. Or we can load them up in the info box. Let me show you different ways of how we can work through the matrix. Let's empty the info box to start new. Okay, we can load them all in here, let's say. That's one way. This is a quicker way, okay, but it's not the in-depth way. I'll show you both ways. Depending on how much time you always have to work with a client. In the beginning, you can work a quick way, and then as you go on through their sessions, you could go more in-depth working on each miasms. So here you would load them in the info box, you would load report items, okay, and you can go to the auto zaps here and pick either 3 minutes, you see here, and it changes, or you can put 9 minutes, okay, and you zap it, and it'll go through the entire filter info box for 9 minutes or 3 minutes, okay. Or treat, which is just about 1 minute. Okay? Going more in depth, you can load them here, one by one, and do 9 minutes, one by one. Okay? And if you do a zap here, 9 minutes on this first miasm, you can get your rectification here, and you will do it over and over again until you get a rectification of over 85. So one by one, you can work on all the miasms. You know, you can set up a protocol, because obviously you won't have this trial only once. We'll have it for quite a few sessions. So, you know, you can do 3 miasms at a time in each session, so you can have time to work on other things too. I'm just giving you some ideas on how you can work on this. Another place you can see and work with the miasms is here in aging. Sorry. I remember you used to be here. Definitely there's one in homotoxicology. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to confuse you. In homotoxicology, there is one here, miasms, and you can do a miasm therapy. Okay, this child here that's loaded is 1 year old. Okay, so you can do a miasm therapy here. And we also see from this place which miasms are also stressed. Okay, let's do one so you can have a look. So that's probably new from our newer update by doing this. It went into a 9-minute mode. That's new for us. Okay. These are new things that we're going over. Okay, so anyhow, we'll fix these little issues. Okay, so we went into the miasm therapy, and it goes into the detox, as you saw. So we can also detox the miasms. It's very good the way it's set up here. Those are new ways it's working. Used to not be like that. I like that idea, Peter. Thanks. Okay, so that's how we work the miasms, and going back as part of their previous life and what they're bringing into their life now. But another also way we can work on past lives, since we're talking about the miasms, is going into past lives. And here I wanted to go into the aging, as I did before, and we go into past life. Here we go. So their primary conflict would be autism. Autistic behavior, you can say. Autism. Okay, so let's start unconscious search. Okay, relax. And let's see what comes up and from where they carry over, from which life they carry over the autism or the autistic behavior. It seems it's from a male coming from the year 627. Seems to be royalty from America. Issue of carelessness. There's guilt burden being shifted into this life. So what we would do is release conflict. And it's very, very helpful when you do past life therapy and miasms. It kind of like brings a load off them. That heaviness that they may feel, a burden that they're carrying over. Very, very important. Okay, and you saw before it said explore risk of autism. Now it says explore risk of aggression. All parts of those behaviors that we want to lessen. We do it over and over again. We release the conflict. Release conflict until the conflict is corrected. Explore into projection, spiritual conflict detected. These are all notes. Again, explore link to autistic, sexual identity conflict. So it's different, issues coming up that they're carrying over from past lives. An issue of power. So it seems, this one seems quite difficult. I've pressed it so many times. Okay, so personality flaw corrected. But it took quite a while, so it was quite an issue. Okay? When you work these miasms and when you work past life, it's always a good idea to work karma afterwards, whatever the case, from NLP and for biofeedback systemic. It'll help them get that load off. Let them forgive themselves, forgive others. So it helps them take that load off. Okay, so until I go over the karma here that we went, here, this is big karma. Another place I'm going to go to afterwards is to see from which stage in their life they had traumatic experiences. We'll see that too, which is very important, so we can clear that area for them. And this all will help and contribute to their sense of security that they need. Children, although the babies don't know how to talk, they understand everything, and they understand that energetic field. They understand the energetic field of their parents, of their mother, their caregiver. They understand facial expressions. That's why they look at you. Babies usually look at you. So when they are born and they have traumatic experiences, and what could be a traumatic experience is that their parents may be fighting, or they may have a lot of anxiety from their work, from their daily life, from different things. They may have some negative emotions, and babies pick all this up. And this starts formulating inside them. That's why by the years, sometimes a baby, when they're born, you may not realize if they're autistic or not, but after the months start passing, they are feeling these negative energies, let's say, around them. These are all traumatic experiences for them. Okay? So these are the things we'll be checking what's going on. So the rectification was only 36. We'll do it over and over again till it's at least 85. So that's why it is so important for the parents to be calm and the environment, their home environment to be peaceful and calm, just as the mother, when they're carrying their baby in their womb, all their feelings, whatever they're going through, it all passes into the embryo. So these are all traumatic experiences, and they come up in unconscious reactivity that I'll show you in just a little bit in gestation, what they say. So it's really, really important to work on this so they can feel their security and they gain more self-confidence. And then you'll see after a few of these therapies, the child will start looking face on to their mother first, to their caregivers, to their closest people. Yeah. So we're doing the karma here, and we're waiting for it to go to at least 85. Let's see where it goes now.
Może wiedzieć, chyba są kiedyś ten fuck. Idzie tak na zajęcie, jest tak na zajęcie.
Okay, 1 to 66. But you will, in your therapy, when you have a child, you will do it over and over again until you get a good rectification of 85 at least. Another place that you can work karma is from the biosystemic relaxation here. Now, there are 2 places here that you can work karma, and what I like to do normally is first go to the additional here, and you would release karmic bonds. I like starting with this one so that any karmic bonds that are carried over from past lives, from previous years, let's say if the child is older, they release them, okay? And then when the rectification is over 100 here, I would then close, say if it went to 100, and I would go here to reprogram karma. So you understand what I'm doing. You first release the karmic bonds, and then you go here to reprogram karma therapy so you can have a new karma. You forgive, and you go on, and there's so much more lighter. That heavy load on their shoulders is gone, and they feel better, they feel more confident. So again, as an AFE program that this is, you would wait till the rectification is over 100, and then you would end the program and close. Okay, so let's go now, since we did the past life and miasms, we can go to the unconscious reactivity, so we can see what traumatic experiences they may have had in their lives. So you go to NLP, and here's the unconscious reactivity. Okay, now the baby that I have is just a few months that I put on as a demo. So I'll put 1-year-old here. So depending on how old, it's 9 months. Depending on how old the child is or the person is, you would put that age here. Now, something I like to do is also add the 9 months that they were in the womb. Okay, so if a child was 9 months in life and 9 months in the womb, that's 18 months, so that's approximately 2 years old. Okay, you get the idea. I like to put those extra months there because we have the gestation period as well. So we press start. Let's see what comes up. Traumas detected gestation week 36. So, it's nice if you have the mother around to ask them, around week 36, was it a difficult time for you? It appears that there was an emotional conflict with self, the child with itself here, not with a mother, but with self. Skin feeling memory, circulation memory. We don't know we have to ask the mother what was going on during that period of time for her. So disease type, we have to press disease type so disease path is open for us. We don't necessarily have to click anything by default. We can just pick nothing and let the educator pick whatever issue they have. Or you can make it have it more focused. We can put psychological, since it's autistic, issue, and neurological. This is neurological. Nerval, sensory, and probably genetic. Okay, so let's see the disease map of what's going on here. So we can get more information. The more information we have on the child, the better, so we can clear them and clear whatever they're carrying forward to this day. Okay, so you see here, until now, we've seen in the matrix the miasm issue for past life, and we see here gestation is only coming up. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's an issue in their life, in their environment, but in their gestation, apparently the mother had an issue in week 8, and it's coming up twice here. So here we can ask the mother, there's physical stress, trauma, or injury, karmic backlash. So again, after doing unconscious reactivity, it's a good idea again to do karma. So here, let's treat emotional, profile above. There's an inability to change or explore self. Okay, well, there's still a child, so obviously there's an inability there. But we'll make them more open by doing brainwave training on them. We'll increase their awareness. Okay, trauma or injury, physical stress, yeah, we'll all work on that. We're going to work on that right now.
My body went through a big change.
I'll show you now.
Severe erectile dysfunction shattered my confidence, set me into a depression, and almost ruined my marriage. Believe me, I tried it.
Skin feeling memory. Skin feeling memory has a lot to do with someone touching them that they don't like that, but either being spanked or being touched, not in a way that they like. Okay, so that could be either for the mother that was passed on to the child or the child themselves. But because being that here there was no year here and only gestation, it could be these feelings, it could be for the mother. Okay. So rectification with once, it went to 90, so that's enough. Again, I always, after the unconscious reactivity, I always like to do karma. And we're going to do the traumatic clearing as well from biofeedback systemic, because it's quite a heavy program, that one with the unconscious reactivity, and we don't want traumas, since we're bringing them up on the surface, to be just there. We want to make sure they're cleared and it doesn't bring them psychologically down. Okay, so because we're bringing past trauma up to the surface, so it's very important to dissipate the karma. And from biofeedback systemic, I'll show you next steps what we do, which are very important.
Sometimes I wake up driving a slow car. My directions are fantastic. When I would raise my hands being across the street, it was fine. That tracks gave me my life back.
So please, while we're chatting here, send me a message of where you're from, your names. I like like to see your names and where you're from so we can have any questions you could write, and I'll get to them by the end of the session. I'll get back to you. Okay, so it went to 112. That's good. That's a good notification. Okay, so let's go back to the biofeedback systemic relaxation. I showed you what I did with karma. I won't show it to you again. Normally I would do it. The first one that was, well, it was called the release karmic bonds. Okay, I would do that, and I would also do the reprogram karma. Okay, but something else that's also very, very important here is, let's see here, emotional trauma. From down on the organ system, down emotional trauma. Very important. I would do emotional trauma, so that will be cleared, and the emotional trauma will be cleared. And also, another one to do is really shock here. Okay, because any kind of trauma is also a shock. We have to remember that. Okay, so you'd also want to do shock. Those are basic things, but always, I also like to ask the doctor what the subconscious wants. You know, I like to ask unconscious choice. What comes up? We can ask 3 times. You know, now you see, shock came up. Interesting, eh? Interesting. Cholesterol, okay, and auditory colossal repair. That's interesting. We all know that it sometimes seems that autistic behavior, they don't want to hear what, the hearing is an issue. Either they're selective in their hearing, or they hear too much, they're too sensitive. So it's coming up here, the auditory colossal repair. So, that's the thing, even though I'm showing you different ways that we can work, we always have to do also the subconscious. Always ask what the client wants, because if you also do what the client wants, we'll get better results. Okay, so you can do a little bit of both. Let's see what the additional subconscious wants. Release phobias, interesting. That was this next area that I will be covering. Heart. That is interesting because the heart is the center of all emotion. Okay? And the diaphragm will help them breathe and open their air, their oxygenation. Working the diaphragm is very, very calming. Okay, so it's interesting that these areas came up under the subconscious. Okay, anything that comes up is always amazing with the device, because you're saying, wow, it's amazing because you learn to see what the client needs. Okay, now we all know that the autistic children have emotional outbursts. Okay, this is what the emotional outbursts, all children have emotional outbursts, but they have more of an emotional outburst in actually normal situations, okay, and not only in extraordinary situations. They would have these tender tantrums, and they would be very inappropriate. So they can be physically aggressive, they can have behavior with themselves, they can be biting, head bang, and usually they do these under situations that are new to them, strange, or in general a stressful situation. So what type of therapies can you do in that situation? Well, the bad behavior in children is always a good idea. It calms them immediately. Bad behavior of children helps them deal with the greedy issues, the aggressive issues. I've even noticed in adults, sometimes doing the unconscious bad behavior in children come up and you're saying, oh, am I a bad child? Well, even as adults, have the child in us, and sometimes it's that ego, the greediness, or the temper that we may have, not being open to new things, or being overly stressed. So it's not bad doing bad behavior in children, even in adults. It helps everybody. Okay. Another area to help these anxiety issues is in the spinal, in the neuro-emotional complex. I love working with this, and this therapy is so it has results. It's a fantastic therapy. Now, in the negative emotion therapy, you can put autism, you can put anxiety, you can put abandonment, you can put insecurity. And if you want to put more, always double space between each emotion. You can put more if you want, and you can't decide, or you want the unconscious to tell you more information. You can go here in the mental chart. And here we have an issue of scared of being careless. They have an issue of how they look, rejection, spirituality, manic, uncontrollable, self-doubt. These are all emotions that will, if we load them, we can help them feel more secure about themselves. So here, copy and paste them. So easy. Recall the last time you felt this way? Last time was, I'd say now. Recall the first time? Actually, with this specific time, it was in gestation 8. How about if we put that? The first time we felt gestation.
And that's more than enough now.
Recall negative physical feelings. The physical feeling, if it was aggression, let's say, maybe pain, autism, stress. How much you forgive your emotion? Well, remember in the primary conflict in the unconscious reactivity that we had seen was self. Unlikely it's also inner self. Attachment to self and the inner self again. So I've seen people here learn all these emotions, even in substance here. There's different ways you can work with a substance. You can either put the negative emotion that way. It's like a devil that is there helping them get over these emotions. Or we can also put a substance here, like let's say, to help them, let's say, I would like to put block therapy. Now instead of this will all be deleted. Let's take a look. If you go to the meeting matrix and go to the block flowers, let's see what comes up. Comes up Bavarian. Not Bavarian. Buckflower comes up. Your vein buckflower. To relieve tension. Okay, or even past that. Since they're both overhanging the aspen and the vein. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, we'll do it over again. No problem. Here in memory, we also got that. Got it from previous days there. And we could put here the vein, and also aspects. Okay, so that way you have an additional therapy going on there. Okay, recall the last time you felt, what did we say now? Here we said self and inner self. Here recall the first time we felt was gestation. Gestation, 8 weeks. Okay, recall negative physical feelings. We had aggression. We had stress, anxiety, and autism. Okay? Once you forgive, you release this emotion, self and inner self. Okay? So we would test and treat emotions till we have a rectification of love over frustration. Or do it over and over again until it's it doesn't let you do any more therapy. That's when you had enough.
I don't even know you. Well, you don't know her either. What's the difference? She wants to hook up. Okay, well, tell her I want to hook up with her, but not a threesome. All right. Okay, let's see what she says.
So it's going. What the neuro-emotional complex does, it clears emotions that's stuck in each spine. You see, each is going over each spine.
Are you sure that might piss her off? Well, yeah, sure.
It's going through the whole spine and clearing these negative emotions so that the nerves are more relaxed.
She's not into it, man.
Usually when we work these kind of therapies, the child's on the sleep already. So love index is at 74, frustration 52. Our goal is for the love index to be double the frustration. Okay, so not only that, at some point you may see it double, but all these must be corrected as well. There can't be like a neuro-emotional blockage. We see 4 blockages here. Okay, so we need the love index to be doubled plus clearance of the whole spine. Okay, no blockages.
Sleep with you if her girlfriend could join in too, but I told her you don't do threesomes. Go back and tell them yes.
Because many times these negative emotions, as it says here, are causing subluxation. So, meaning it's causing a blockage, and then the information that should be passed from the brain to the rest of the body is not being passed. It's blocked. And then there's disruptions, as we call it. Okay, so while we're clearing them, we're also sending rock flowers as an extra added therapy. You can put anything here. Okay, the point is also, I forgot to do this, is that we should be loading the substance. Okay, I'll do it as soon as it finishes this clearance. Because for this to work, we have to load the substance. It's not enough just to put it here. So, okay, so here we have the love index of 109 and frustration index of 51. So here you see that the love index is double, more than double of the frustration, but you still see blockages here. Okay, so let's load the substance. Okay, this is what we were supposed to do. Okay, and with this sense how much of that substance went through the plant and was ejected. Okay, we want this as high as possible with water filled in. Okay, so you can put just about anything in this area. You can put like a supplement, you can put crystal energies, you can put any kind of frequency that you want the frequency to be therapeutic for the person. That's why I always said, and how I've said it in my previous videos, is that applications are endless. If you have creativity, you can do so much just by having creativity and working with your client. It's not only just pressing buttons, it's understanding what we're doing and going deep into their root cause of their issues. Okay, so you see the bar went higher, meaning that they accepted the rock flowers. Love index is definitely a lot higher, like just about 3 times as high as which is really good, but we still have blockages here, so we still continue until it's all clear. This I want to show you because I want to make sure that you understand this, because many people just stop at the love index being double the frustration, but it's not enough. You have to also clear the whole time and make sure that there's no blockages there.
Here to work in your secret laboratories on an evil invention that will shock the entire world with its dastardly design. Who's first? I am Dr. Micronox, and the most evil invention in the world is my shrink ray. It can reduce a monument to the size of a toy. We'll have the Eiffel Tower on my keychain and not press smaller as a paperweight. Oh, very evil, Dr. Micronox. I guess bad things do come in small packages. Who is next?
I am the Baroness
Okay, so we're going even better with the love index, you see, but we still need more.
I shall encase all the world's most famous monuments in solid ice.
So chillingly evil. Okay, who is next? I guess. My name is Roy, and for the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child molesting robot.
So other places after this that you can work with is feel-good therapy. Feel-good therapy will always make them feel good, feel relaxed, get that oxytocin up. Feel-good therapy has oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, all those hormones that make them feel calm and good and secure.
I'm sorry.
Okay, because I really want to go over more additional things. I think you understand that we want everything here corrected. Okay, everything, not just these items. Everything must be corrected. The love index is already above, so there we're okay. Here we see the full line, the full bar, meaning that they had a good, they received the Bach flower and the aspirin, the Bach flower, they received it well. So that's loaded well. But the last thing that we need is everything corrected here. So that way we'll be complete with this therapy. Okay, so another area that is also very important that we have to work for past traumas and make them feel more secure is the body scan and face therapy. Now, I think I've already showed you these, and I'm sure you know, but I want you to understand the logic also behind the working, the dimensions of the aura. Our aura has embedded all the traumas that we bring from past life, from gestation, some this light, and they're there, in bed. Okay. And the only way to clear it is to clear this therapy, clearing the aura, so that way the traumas are completely gone, and it'll make them feel so much better. Okay. This is very, very important, just as is also the dimensions in the universal therapies. Well, I'll show you after this as well. But clearing all the dimensions of the aura from any past trauma that are there. Our aura embeds traumas, either emotional traumas, but also physical traumas. So these are very, very important. And you see here, the chakras are all over the place, and there's foci here showing that there is a trauma. So we would treat the foci, the gold, red, and blue circles are the foci. Okay, we would treat them until they're all gone. We would go front, side left, side right, back, and make sure all the foci are gone. Okay, because these are areas that apparently have some kind of trauma embedded there. So it's very important when you're doing the therapy to consciously understand what you're doing and you're clearing their trauma, because as you're saying it inside you, it's your intention, and that makes the therapy even stronger. By knowing and understanding what you're doing. Okay, so we're treating the foci on each side, the front, the side left now. As soon as they're cleared, we will go to side right. We're clear, so we go to side right. And treat the foci. See there's embedded trauma in the back of them. It could be one of those miasms from past life. It could be from the gestation that we saw. We don't know. But it's very good to clear them from here as well. That way, there is no memory, even in their aura. And that way, they will feel so much less anxiety and so much more calm. Okay, and we go back to aura. We see that there's no more foci. So we go under here in the cybernetic correction, and the part that's very, very important here, okay, you see here, artist has steadfast loyalty. So there's an issue of loyalty. There's an issue of a lack of enthusiasm. When it says enthusiasm, there's a lack of enthusiasm. There's anxiety. There's a religious conflict saying, why God, or, whoever they believe in, or why is this happening to me? An issue of anxiety, an issue of lack of ecstasy, probably, or shame. Okay, so the sense of insecurity comes again with the shame. So the really important part here is to line up all the chakras by retraining. You line up all the chakras, but also making sure that all the colors are fully cleared until the outer line. We're not yet straight, but we're not fully cleared with the colors here. We want the colors to be till the outer rim, this blue line here. So we do it again and again until we have a straight line of all the chakras are aligned, and the colors are clear and to the end of the dimensions here. So it's getting better, but it's still not there. Okay, getting better, but still not there. Remember, we want the colors till the outer rim. just about aligned, but the colors are still not out here. And the best colors to have are those white, light colors. We'll see them. Hopefully we'll see them now. No, still not there. Although we're aligned, the colors aren't until the outer rim. We want a big energetic field. That's what we're looking for. A clearance of all the energetic field around. Here it is. These are the colors that we want, and we want everything aligned, and the colors as is here till the outer rim. Okay, then that's when we're done. Okay, here if you want, we can also do the outer cleanse, and we can also do the psychic disturbance if there's any energetic management dysfunction that I've mentioned in previous lessons. Okay, very important. So let's go also to the polymorphic. So we finish up there with the clearing of the dimensions. You see it from here to the subspace morphic trance. This is where you clear all the dimensions. You have a clearance of it there. So any trauma that's embedded there in any dimension, again, is cleared. Okay, so these are all very, very important when we're working for traumatic experiences in past life, in this life, in gestation. So let's see what dimension will be cleared first. Remember to write any questions you want me and tell me where you're from, give me your names so I can greet you afterwards. So if you notice that there's more time it takes for some kind of clearance to be made, means it's more of an issue. Okay, the longer the device takes means that it's found an issue. Because remember, our device is smart, so it may stay longer than the pre-designed time required. So, okay, the first dimension was the mental plane that was already cleared, and the rest of the dimensions are still left unclear. What you would do to have a quicker result is check all of them and start over and over again till everything is grayed out. Okay, and that usually takes about 3 to 5 times, depending on the person and their issues. Okay, I won't do it right now, but you get the idea. You want to clear their dimensions for all their traumatic experiences that they're carrying forward. Okay, so another area for past trauma to work is phobias. Remember, phobias is the additional phobia therapy that we have, the amazing phobia therapy that only we have. Phobias also have to do with past traumas. Okay, so being looking at, like the child that I have here is just a baby. It may come from the parent, the mother, trauma from the mother carried over, past life trauma, or whatever it's lived through right now. Look, this is really interesting. Omphallophobia. Omphallophobia has to do with their belly button. That's interesting. Because they're still a baby and they may have issues with their belly button. From that, they were cut off from your mom. That's an issue, not a wanting that. One of the biggest traumas of the baby is when they're born. Is that the separation trauma. Galleophobia has the fear of sharks or swimming pools. Now, we don't know what the parent may have gone through or their previous lives. Iatrophobia, that's the fear of doctors. Well, babies have the fear of doctors because every time they see the doctor, they get jabbed. That's another thing. Okay, so this is really, really interesting. What's this phobia? This phobia is the fear of cotton balls or plastic foams, or the sound of it, squeak sound. Cotton balls can be also when they're vaccinated, they have a cotton ball, who knows, certain issues. So it's good to treat them here until they're all over 85. Over and over again until they're all over 85. And it'll give them that sense of security. This therapy gives them a sense of security and a sense of peacefulness inside them. So, other things that we have to know about the autism is, okay, it's the issue of the language development. Now, as a rule of thumb, by age 1, a child should be able to say some few simple single words. By 18 months, they should be at least to have 6 words in their vocabulary. By age 2, they should be able to string 2 simple word phrases together. And by 3, they have some basic sentences. Okay, but of course, autistic children may have delays in this. So where do you work? Obviously, you're going to work a lot of brain therapies here. You're going to work in the time therapies and the programs. Time therapies here. From enhanced learning, you work on all this on super learning and AFE. You can work the intellect. Okay. In biofeedback, there's a lot of brain therapy there. Creativity, there's also creativity helps them with the speaking. In NLP, there's a lot of therapies there for helping them in their communication skills. Okay, here. Apart from the super learning, etc. Stimulate creativity. Stimulate creativity helps for communication. But here also, okay, expressions and solutions will help them. Okay, other good therapies, deals in fear, networking and relationships. These are all really, really good therapies to help them. Okay, motivation. Treat all miasms and the viral miasms that we had in the beginning that I was telling you about. A good area to work. Okay, and also in the biofeedback systemic, there's also good areas to work with the brain. Not to mention also the home use. I really like using the home use. The home use has therapies, awareness, improved mental functioning, super learning, attention deficit, and autism. So we can go here reduce negative emotions for fear, phobia, insecurities, etc. Help them be calm. Brain symmetry for left and right balancing. very, very important. Okay, and also these here that are new expressions and solutions, these are the same ones that are in NLP, but we also brought them here for the home use. Okay, so autistic children also have a difficulty distinguishing from what's real and from what's in fact, fiction. They have their own imaginary world. Okay, so that's why they have these repetitive behaviors, where they have behaviors where they put everything in a certain type of order that they like, or they go back and forth. A lot of back and forth goes on, flutterings of their hands, or obsessiveness. So obsessive behaviors, you can work with obsessive behaviors here from universal therapies.
We need more boys, less noise.
Mental NLP interface we have here, obsessive. Okay, we have schizophrenia. We would like to do a little bit of schizophrenia just to help them because they're living in their own little imaginary world. It'll help them. The anxiety will help them. Okay, you can also put other known symptoms, anxiety and autism here when we want to work on it. Now, something I also like to work on, let me show you,
Bon appetit, baby.
is the athletic program. Now, the athletic program, although it's made for athletes, I like that it has beautiful therapies. For instance, the conflict itself, and conflict with a game. You can reduce overall reduction of conflict, or enhance performance 1 and 2, which will help them with their self and their game. Okay, mind and body focus therapy. This will help them be more coordinated. It will help them, whatever there is in their mind, and help them really calm them. Okay, whatever therapy you've done already, doing this afterwards will help it go even deeper. And something that I have thought of, and no one really has ever told me about this, but I've seen it as I work with so many clients and so many children that are autistic. I do them with flexibility stimulation. And what I was saying before of your intent, I want them to be more flexible. Now, in this muscular re-education for athletes, normally it would be for flexibility, for their muscles, the flexibility. But it also has to do with the flexibility of their mind, the flexibility of being more flexible in situations and not so, and not have so much anxiety under new circumstances. Okay? So having this in mind and doing flexibility, I've seen results. And another thing here is the warrior stimulation. Warrior stimulation has to do with building confidence. So if you're dealing with a child, depending on the child, of course, if you're dealing with a child that has a very low self-esteem, you would want to do warrior stimulation. It really, really helps them build that self-esteem. Going into the game, going into the world, going into their classroom as a warrior, being confident. Yeah. So, other things that we could do. Yeah, I think I've gone over everything I wanted to go over, so we're ready for our demo in part 3. Now, the last time though, we had stopped on the allosodes in part 1, when we were talking about the gastrointestinal link and the leaky gut. Remember that, they have seen in autistic children that there is a connection with the gastrointestinal link. So you would also want to do their immunity, any kind of immunity dysfunction, work on their immune system, work on their organs, and work on also their blood, okay, to increase their oxygen and immune system, okay? So I think now we will be ready for part 3 in 2 weeks. Let's see if we have any questions. Let me go back to our panel. Oh, wow, we have a big group. Hello, Bessie. Hello. Hello, London. I don't know your name in London. Teba, Romania, Emilia, Storm, Dimesh in South Africa. Wow. Armina in Germany. Tara in Romania. Magda, I'm in Hungary. So great to see all of you. Morella in Romania. Morella, hello. Terry, hello from Australia. Karen, good evening. Okay, so I'll be happy to see you in 2 weeks again. Hello, Veronica. Hello, Andrea. Yes. I'll be happy to see you in 2 weeks. If you have any questions, make sure you have your questions ready so we can get on it, and we'll do a complete demo on how we approach all these details that I've shared with you on a client, and how we'll go each step, doing the startup, warming them up, and how we may, I'll try to give you some kind of how we can work on the remaining protocols. We'll do one session, and I'll try to teach you on how you can work on them from there on. So if you have any children that you, or persons that are autistic and you want to share them, your information with me, our next part 3 will be a 2-hour session, so we'll have more time together, and we'll go over it with as much as we can. Okay? Love you all. Sorry I delayed in the beginning. I was stuck, and thank you for being patient. Bye. Alina, thank you. Thank you for Italy. Thank you, Morella. Lots of kisses to everybody.